Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the annual Town of Grand Rapids Annual Town Meeting, April 19th, 2016. Municipal Town Building, 2410 48th Street South. Agenda is as followed. You've been presented with that. The clerk will make one announcement about if there's any votes today pertaining to residency.
If anybody's not a resident of Grand Rapids, just raise your hand. So you have to be a resident to vote. So anybody not? Okay.
All right. Hearing that all people residents has been approved, we will now move to the agenda. We're going to approve the minutes from the public budget hearing and the special town meeting minutes from November 18th. Those were in your packets. Is there any questions or concerns?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
Just before a motion is made, item number 5 on the special town meeting.
Second one,
Second, yeah. Has just one typo. It's the motion would have been 288 per 1,000, not 289.
Yep, that's the fourth line.
Yes.
Mr. Hett, did you have your hand up?
That was the same thing I had, but in addition to that, minorly, at least under item number 4, the last sentence, electors retain, I assume, all other authority, such as approval of the town levy, etc.
Right here. Yeah, I think that is right. That sounds like that's meant to be retain all other authorities. Yes.
All right, any other corrections noted? Hearing none, somebody wishing to make a motion to accept?
So,
Motion was Shirley,
Yes,
and second by Arnie Nystrom.
Jim.
and that was,
Jim
motion,
Forrest.
Jim Forrest
Forrest.
jumped in there, all right.
and that was a motion to,
Accept the minutes as presented,
as amended.
as corrected. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed?
Any hands?
not unless we hear a no, then we'll.
All right, we're going to do a short review of the 2015 financial statement, and Lisa Goddard-Guyant clerk will present the notes.
And these numbers are just from your page 7. You should have the report from Shank in there. That was done in January of this year. Just going over just the basic numbers that the general fund balance as of January 1st, 2015 was $1,076,356. The budgeted amounts for 2015 were revenue at $2,614,046, expenditures $3,161,046, leaving a deficit of $547,000 that would have been taken from the general fund balance. The actual revenue came in at $2,619,540, and expenditures were $2,990,656, which actually gave the town a deficit of $371,116, which came out of the general fund, giving the fund balance on December 31st a balance of $705,240. And then there's also, I believe, the following page, the legal margin for new debt at the end of 2015 that we could have is $22,993,965. That's just what we're allowed to have. Obviously, we're not anywhere near that. So.
Questions on that? No, it's quick and brief, but the data is there too anytime you wish to question anything.
Question?
I thought Ron had his hand.
Mr. Hett?
Yeah, I'd just like to make a statement that I reviewed this financial statement thoroughly, I understood it completely, and I think it's correct. Not.
All right, we'll start with a series of reports this evening. Chris Skinner's going to give you the treasurer report.
Good evening, Town of Grand Rapids residents. The cash on hand, December 31st, 2015, consists of the following: $105,000 in Wood Trust checking account, $322,000 in the Wood Trust investment account, $313,000 in a money market at River Cities. We had outstanding checks of $35,503. My fund balance showed $776,671. Tax collections in December of that month for the prior year's taxes collected in December for the next year was $4,354,981. Total cash on hand, $5,131,000. Interest, income, and investments were down a little bit, a couple $100 in each place. Wood Trust Bank, we made $1,162. River Cities Bank, we made $1,563. And other interest made throughout the town amounted to $1,063 for the total of $3,789. The loans that we had out in 2015 were for a squad and a ladder truck, $75,183, and that one matures November of 2018. We have a loan for a grader, $113,435, that matures in March of 2019. A loan for Town Line Road, $259,000, that one matures in March of 2018. These loans are between 2.5% and 3%, very good interest rate. We did get some new debt in 2016, which I'm just adding to the total. That was for a plow truck and a squad for $198,000. So the total debt for the town of Grand Rapids right now is $645,000. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Fire Chief Don Bone, you want to present your annual report?
Good evening, Town of Grand Rapids residents. Grand Rapids Fire Department is still currently staffed with 52 firefighters. We have 7 personnel that are strictly medical first responders. We also have 15 honorary members, which are former retirees of the fire department that still come down and help us with various functions throughout the course of the year, and appreciate their service. For the year 2015, we had 111 fire calls of various different shapes and sizes of fire calls. 53 of the calls were in the town of Grand Rapids, 15 calls were in the town of Grant, 24 were in the town of Saratoga, and we were called upon 19 times to provide mutual aid to surrounding municipalities, whether it be Buren, Wisconsin Rapids, Plover. We actually even went out to Hancock one night. We've been working very hard over the last 4 years to retain members on the fire department. It's a never-ending task to educate the public about the need to continue the long-standing tradition of volunteer or paid-on-call fire service in Wisconsin. The state of Wisconsin is served by 80% volunteer or paid-on-call departments that save the taxpayers of the area and the state millions of dollars annually compared to full-time staff fire departments. The department is like most in the area is aging. The number of young people that reside in our town and choose to serve the community on the fire department is diminishing annually. If the trend of reduced members of town residents serving our community continues, we'll be forced to find personnel from outlying areas such as the city of Wisconsin Rapids or surrounding Buren, town of Grant. We have quite a few members that do live outside our area currently. The drawback to that is it increases our response time. They still have the travel time from their house to the station. So we really are trying to encourage any residents that live in our town, especially the younger people that are in our community, to consider joining the fire department. It's probably the best way of saving our town any significant amount of monies. Over the last year, we have taken part of a county-wide project to replace our fire safety trailer. It had been sitting out back for the last couple weeks. We're happy to announce the trailer has arrived and will be debuting at the Children's Festival this Saturday down at Lincoln High School. So if you get an opportunity, stop down, see what the trailer is. It's been a very large undertaking by the Wood County Fire Chiefs Association and many of the area departments in the area. The funding for this mostly came from corporate sponsors and fundraisers or the fire departments themselves utilizing their fundraiser money to put this trailer into service. The tool will be used to teach adults and children. Our previous trailer was predominantly for children. This is very much an adult, handicap accessible tool that we'll be able to use throughout the community for hopefully 20, 25, 30 years. To be able to prevent fires or teach about fire for safety. The trailer helps prevent even one person to know how to survive a fire, or better yet, even prevent the fire from starting. It's money well spent, and we definitely like to appreciate some of the corporate sponsors. We're actually having a little open house for the corporate sponsors tomorrow afternoon down in, at the Nakusa Fire Station. And we'd like to get some publicity out for those folks, so hopefully we'll be on the news tomorrow night and get a little, or Thursday night, excuse me. Get some nice press for the corporations that donated. We have one corporation that donated over $30,000 to this. So for a company to think that it's that important to our community is pretty astounding, so. Any questions?
Any questions?
If you don't mind, I have to go up to the town of Grant and do the same thing.
You're excused.
See the rest.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just a side note to that, he did attach a list of the various type of calls to his report that you have. We'll call on Chief of the Police Department, Mel Peterson now.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Okay, the department remains busy serving and protecting the citizens of Grand Rapids. For 2015, the Grand Rapids Police Department handled 4,423 calls for service, and that compared to 4,538 calls for service for 2014. That's about a 2% decrease in calls. And in your packets there, you should have a breakdown of all those calls that were assigned. Personnel in the Grand Rapids Police Department remained relatively stable over the last year. We did have one new part-time officer that was added, Officer Duane Adamczyk. She replaced one part-time officer that left the Grand Rapids Police Department. And we look forward to serving and working with all the residents of the town of Grand Rapids, especially the town board and fellow employees of the town. The Grand Rapids Auxiliary Police continues to be an invaluable asset to our local community and to the department. Auxiliary officers work hard to remain self-funded at no cost to local taxpayers. Auxiliary is a volunteer organization that helps out at various special events in the town and in the area. They are trained specific tasks at these special events, which greatly enhance the effectiveness of the Grand Rapids Police Department and acts as a force multiplier at the event. For calendar year 2015, the Grand Rapids Auxiliary Police worked a total of 19 events for approximately 613 and a half volunteer hours. These volunteer hours saved the town over $12,000 when you compare this to a full-time starting officer's rate of pay. Please take a minute to thank these individuals for their hard work and time that they donate to our community when you see them out at these special events around town and in the area. I also like to add that the Grand Rapids Auxiliary Police is always looking for some hard-charging new recruits that are come in and get a taste of police work. We hit up the Mid-State Technical College every year for people, and a lot of our auxiliary come from Mid-State. It's a good chance for them to get some basic experience in police work before they go out in the real world. If they know of anybody that's interested in joining, please stop by and talk with us, or stop by and pick up an application, and we'd be happy to take a look at it. As far as our fleet of squad cars this year, we added a 2015 Ford Explorer Police Interceptor. That one replaced a 2003 GMC Yukon. At the end of the calendar year 2015, we have 5 squad cars in the department, a 2010 Dodge Charger with about 95,000 miles, a 2011 Chevy Tahoe with 87,833 miles, a 2013 Dodge Charger with approximately 36,350 miles, and our 2014 Dodge Charger with 37,777 miles. The 2015 Ford Explorer in that first year put on about 13,505 miles. Officers met their state mandated training requirements for 2015. I still, training is still a high priority with me for the department, and has been since I got here. And through this training, it's best serves our community as a whole. On behalf of all the officers and staff of the Grand Rapids Police Department, I want everyone to know that we're proud to serve this community now and into the future. And I welcome any questions or concerns you may have about the police department. We all look forward to serving you in 2016. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Patty Lumbee is going to do a couple reports this evening. She'll do a building and zoning and then a plan commission. Patty?
Good evening, residents. Good evening. The mission of the Building and Zoning Department is to enforce building and zoning codes to protect the life and safety and enhancement the quality of life of the citizens of Grand Rapids. These goals are accomplished through enforcement of construction, electrical, plumbing, and heating, ventilating, and air conditioning codes for residential buildings. Department staff receives applicants for permits, review plans to ensure compliance with applicable codes and local ordinances, issue permits for construction, and perform inspections to ensure work is performed in compliance with the applicable code provisions and local zoning ordinances. Enforcement of the town zoning code is also a function of the department. Applications for permits are reviewed for compliance with provisions of the zoning of all districts in the town to verify the desired use and occupancy is allowable within the district. Staff also performs investigations and responds to compliance to ensure activities other than construction are not in violation of the zoning codes. The department also enforces other town ordinances. In February 2015, the town zoning administrator and building inspector, Larry Gels, resigned. With this resignation, he presented an opportunity for us to rethink the structure of the zoning administrator and the building inspector position. Because of the slower economy, the need for a building inspector working exclusively for the town was not deemed necessary. The town decided to contract services with Dale Bates, Banjer Land Homeland Consultants as the town building inspector. In turn, the town was faced with filling also the position of the zoning administrator. We are very fortunate to have a well-versed administrative staff having many years of experience and knowledge regarding the zoning administrator duties and responsibilities. The town board was pleased that Peggy Dowdy, having 15 years of experience working as administrative assistant, accepted the role of zoning administrator in addition to her current duties. The town purchased and implemented a new computer software called MyGov, which has a history commencing 2014. This will enable the Building and Zoning Department to pull valuable statistical information as demonstrated in the charts below. In 2015, the town of Grand Rapids issued permits for commercial projects. 2 permits were, one was for Carpet City Addition and also Mid-State Technical Diesel Shop. They issued 1 heating, ventilating, and air conditioning permit for Mid-State Technical College and also 1 electric for Bud's Corner Mart. Also presented is a 3-year history for residential property, showing as an increase is in additions and remodeling. There was increase in sheds, driveways, and then there's other fence and plumbing miscellaneous. That will also be on the town's website for review. As you can see by the charts, the total number of permits issued for 2015 was 242. In 2013, it was 199. 2014 was 230. So the total permit revenue, fee revenue, was $15,370, and the approximate total value added by the permitted projects were $2,432,000. Respectfully submitted by Peggy Dowdy, our zoning administrator, and Dale Bates, our building inspector.
Is there any questions on that report? Want to move to the Plan Commission annual report then?
Yes, thank you. The Town of Grand Rapids Plan Commission is comprised of 7 residents appointed to serve on the board for a 3-year term. The appointed officer's position, chairman and vice chair, are only for 1-year appointments, which can be reappointed by the town chairman and confirmed by the town board. This board is available to meet on the 2nd and 4th Monday of each month at 6 p.m. located at the Town of Grand Rapids Municipal Building. The Plan Commission was created to consider rezoning requests, conditional uses, ordinance violations, text and map amendments, and land divisions. Consistency between the comprehensive plan and the zoning ordinance and the official map and various other planning, zoning, and building related issues. The 2015 Commission Chair is Justin Connor and Vice Chair is Tom Arnold. They were appointed by the Town Board Chair and confirmed by the Town Board Supervisors. The 7 Plan Commission members are identified at the beginning of the report along with their terms. Plan members' terms expire at different year intervals, and at the beginning of 2015, the Plan Commission Secretary, Zoning Administrator, and Building Inspector Larry Giles resigned. Appointed to the Secretary and Zoning Administrator is Peggy Dowdy. In 2015, 10 meetings were held to review and make recommendations to the Town Board. The following items were presented to the Plan Commission, and below is a 4-year history. So in 2015, the dog exemption reports, 7 were reviewed, land use permits were 6, conditional use permits 1, rezoning of property requests were 2, subdivision and plat reviews were 1. Also, no land was annexed for the, also on this was a chart for 2013 annexed land, which was 4.45 acres. And in 2014, the annexed land was 20.728 acres. And in 2015, there was no land that was annexed. However, Waterworks and Lighting purchased a parcel of 64.97 acres for future expansion. So please visit our website at thetownofgrandrapids.org, which contains valuable, up-to-date information regarding zoning, town ordinances, and building codes. And also available are electronic forms for permit requests, and you can review these reports. So thank you.
Any questions on the Plan Commission report? Thank you very much, Patty. We'll call on Bill Clendenning, Chairman of the Recycling and Solid Waste, to give their annual report.
Good evening, Town of Grand Rapids residents. Highlight, this is a very busy report, but I'll have, the Town of Grand Rapids approved a contract December 9, 2014 with Advanced Disposal. The town agreed to a 3-year contract for residential waste and recycling material collection, commencing January 1st, 2015. The contract is available on our website for your viewing. In 2015, the contractor, Advanced Disposal, invoiced the Town of Grand Rapids $399,288 for each of its 3,048 residents, curbside pickup that is, or $131 per household per year for the curbside pickup and solid waste in 2016, and the fee will remain the same for 2016, so it'll be $131. In 2015, we had 2 Choose to Reuse programs were held in the town garage, and these were successful. Again, hundreds of items were kept out of the local landfill. Recycled items included household appliances, clothes, furniture, lawnmowers, bicycles, and more. Oil, tires, and batteries were also collected. Our 2016 Choose to Reuse events are going to be held on May 21st, which is the 3rd Saturday in May, and also the 3rd Saturday in September, which is September 17th. The Clean Green Action Group received a 2015 Excellence Award. It's a group that I belong to. Joe Ansel heads it up. He's also a town of Grand Rapids resident. And we received this award for recycling excellence in the town of Grand Rapids. And Joe put in for this, and we got the results about 3 months ago. We received this award, and they would like it to hang in the town if possible.
I believe it would be.
The Clean Green Action, what I just read that. Okay, I'm gonna go into some of the things that, there was 1,985 tons of recyclable, not recyclable, of solid waste collected in the town last year. That's down from 2014, which was 2,027.99 tons. So we are going down in our waste that we are getting. In 2014, it was 527.37 pounds per resident. And in 2015, the report here, it's 515.65 pounds per resident. We go to recyclables. Recyclables for the year 2015, the per capita, meaning out of those residents, it was 155.73 pounds. That's up from last year, 2014, it was 153.89. So we are gaining. We had one bad year there in which we were down, but we brought that back up. This year, they did not give us if we're above or below state average, and I don't know, but they did not give us a state average of recyclables per capita. And in things that we collect for recycling, most of them is glass. Glass was the heaviest. Otherwise, it was pretty much the same as last year, except down a little bit. And in 2016, the goal of the committee is to apply for grant funds through the DNR in 2017. So we'll be working on that, and we'll be working with many other municipalities, especially in Choose to Reuse program. Yes?
Bill, this, what I thought I heard here is, you talked about solid waste and recyclables. Solid waste is like garbage, I guess.
Yes.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
And we're going down in that trend, so that's
Yes.
good, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
good.
And the recyclables are
We're coming
recyclables, and we're going up in that trend.
Yes, yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very good last year, so.
Any other questions, comments? Go ahead.
What is the percentage of people that really do recycle? Because I ride my bicycle a lot on garbage days and I see no recycle bins on my street.
I know, it's.
I think over my neighborhood, I count 7 not recycling, 3 are recycling. I'm one of the 3.
I get calls on that, and it's pretty hard to go up to an individual and say, you're not recycling, you're supposed to. That's not our responsibility, really. It's up to the contractor to actually go out there and encourage recycling and not pick up things that are not that are recyclable and not in the recyclable containers. You must have clear plastic bags, and we don't encourage that here. So people, yes, some places it's just terrible.
I can go by and you can see aluminum cans in the garbage can.
We're trying, and even our Clean Green group is trying to get an education on that. We want to work with Advanced Disposal to do that. And it's the same thing in the city of Wisconsin Rapids, the same thing in the town of, other towns. But in the town of Grant, you know, where they have a place that they bring it, they got the best recycling in the state. Anybody that has a place that they bring it to a collection point. Yes, we have to improve.
William?
Yes.
Just one comment about that. Not every week does everybody put recyclables out. I honestly, I'll tell you, my recycling goes out once a month on the average, that's how long it takes us to fill it up. We have two sacks of garbage that goes out every week. The recyclables go about, when there's only two people there, about once a month. So, you know, just to say that not everybody is recycling because you don't see something out there every day, I would contest that by saying the numbers indicate that we're getting better and better. Do we need to keep continuing the education of the public to encourage them to do it? Yes, that's what Clean Green is all about, and
You know, we have some good people working at advanced disposal. They're really good. The drivers, now they'll stop in and we'll talk about a few things and, you know, the worst thing is what people do is dog litter and cat litter, they throw in the garbage. You know, and that becomes very heavy. And a lot of containers are left back because they keep that container until it's full of that litter. And then they expect most people to pick that up and they don't. So that's what's usually left is cat litter and dog litter, so.
are they not supposed to pick that up?
Well, not when it weighs more than 45 pounds.
Well, okay, anybody else? Questions or not? Thank you very much. It's time to call on our judge, David Grace, to give us an update on how we're doing. Crimes are down, right?
I don't know, you didn't ask Bill about that. I think that the court continues to provide a very good service to the community, and I am pleased with the outcome of our efforts. Oftentimes, especially with some of the juveniles, I've had some encouraging responses from some of the efforts that we're using with drug usage and tobacco usage. Some of the diversion programs are working in that field a lot better than I thought they would. But other than that, I think things are working well. It's disquieting sometimes to see the type of offenses that come in. One thing I'm noticing is the speeds are much higher in recent years. And the one really disquieting thing is the number of people who are being pulled over for suspended licenses, suspended registration, and no insurance. And that's somewhat difficult when somebody like that commits an offense, and then we have to pile on a penalty again on top of obviously their difficulty of meeting some of their financial burdens. But the whole effort of the court primarily is traffic. There are other matters. Fortunately, there are not a lot of criminal matters that come in, and very few in terms of any type of damage to property. And those are occasional, but I think that the municipal court continues to provide a very good service to the community. Anybody have any questions about the court's function?
The results of the financial report are certainly in front of you. I think the collection of fines almost reaching $100,000 now.
It's worked well, and you know, Ed Hellner was apprehensive about doing this because of the difficulties that the circuit court was having collecting forfeitures is what it's actually called. But fortunately, and I think to Ed's surprise, we've been pretty successful in having people pay. There's, needless to say, a good number of people who are never going to pay the fine, the forfeitures. It's not unusual for me to have to go and waive matters because somebody's sent off to prison or something, and in that case, the likelihood of a forfeiture ever being paid is probably at best minimal and probably zero. But other than that, I think we've been pretty successful.
One of the features, or not features, one of the things that you added probably 3-4 years back was the availability to do tax intercepts. And that
Yes.
continues to bring in this case, this last year, $30,000, where people weren't here to come in and pay for their fines, but had tax refunds, and so we had, in order of pecking order, get a chance to get some of those funds if there's refunds available.
We're very fortunate, between Jewel and Peggy, they are both very good at what they're doing, and our system works very well in terms of supervising the monthly activities, but also the tax intercept and the collection issues are dealt with quite well because of their abilities that they have gathered in these years. And as somebody asked, this has been since 2004 now, so it's been a while and we've been very successful. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you. All right. Well, Gil Layton come up here, and Gil has two responsibilities for the town. He's leads the Board of Appeals and also the Sanitary District, and Board of Appeals had no meetings, is that correct?
Correct.
Well, that means the zoning billing folks did a fine job then.
Yeah. Well, actually, Arnie, Board of Appeals had no meetings, but it kind of follows along with the building permits. The more
Sure.
building that's going on, the more opportunity people are looking for variances, lots and setbacks and all those things, but no meetings were held for the Board of Appeals. That's only on an as-needed basis. Grand Rapids Sanitary District, no meetings were held in 2015. Cash on hand is $29,025. We had issue here, Janice Sager just resigned as our treasurer due to health reasons. And Chris Ginter here will be picking up her place. As soon as all the paperwork is taken care of between them, we'll be having a meeting and formalize that. So that's pretty much it. Any questions?
Yeah,
Yeah?
William?
if the sanitary district did dissolve, that money has to go back to the people that put the money in?
Yeah, it's kind of a complicated thing though, Bill. It can't go directly to the township because there's only a portion of the township that's in the sanitary district. Goes out to about 48th Street here, so anything on the east side of 48th is not in the sanitary district.
There would, just to interject, I don't know if there's any reason why the sanitary district would want to dissolve. There's always a possibility that at some day this municipality may have to have sewer and water service one way, shape, manner, or form. And if the district dissolves, it's a lot harder to form a new one than to maintain the old one. So I would encourage it to continue on. They can use some of the funding to do drainage. A number of years ago, we cleaned out the 2 Mile Creek. And the 2 Mile Creek between, very close to 2 Mile Avenue is kind of filling up the drainage ditch or pond that we put in probably 8-10 years ago, I'm gonna guess, huh?
Yeah, over that, I think.
Yeah,
We
so-
set up, we profiled the entire creek, tried to take out the old dams where they were restricting. Created a series of sediment traps. One of them, Arnie and I were just talking about recently that we're probably gonna have to get in and clean out again. But we do have the authority to do drainage in the township. That's where we've been concentrating. We also have the authority to tax. Don't really wanna get into that again unless we get into a major project. Like, we could put in municipal water if we so choose. But the city pretty much gave us a catch-22. We cannot put in sanitary sewer without hooking onto the city's treatment plant. City said, fine, if you annex, you can hook on it. So there we sit. We spent a lot of years in the past, we taxed the people in the sanitary district considerably. all for naught, a lot of engineering studies, and we accomplished nothing.
Yep. Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Well, this is on the agenda again, the annual chance for the salary of your elected chairman and supervisors to be reviewed. The current salary for 2017 is $300 for the chairman per month, $140 for the supervisors. Chairman gets $60 per diems, and other supervisors are $55 per diem. The compensation, if it would change, would not change until 2018. In other words, it would be not affected by any of those that are elected currently or were just recently elected. So if the compensation would change, all people that are on the board at the time would get the same change. It wouldn't be stepped at one supervisor getting this and the other one getting slightly more. That's why we changed it to it. So it's up to the electors to decide if you believe we're fairly compensated. We make no changes. If you desire to look at anything, we'll consider it. So, anything out there, Mr. Head?
Yeah, I'd like to make some statements. Do you need a motion first or not?
No, I guess we could have discussion
Thank you.
first.
Just as soon not make the motion, so. But it's my opinion that we got a bargain going here. You know, this, I figured this out a while back, and I think the number, the compensation and the per diems that we pay these folks is 1% of our annual budget. That's pretty cheap. I have a request here that if we see this again, what I'd like to see on here is a historical listing of total expenses by either individual or the board for the salary and per diems and the total of that, and then a budget number on there, so we can see how that trend works and how probably insignificant this number is to our total budget. Beyond that, I'd sure like to see that the compensations are the same as we go along here, so, thank you.
Okay, that information was available in our annual reports that we did, and I guess I can't tell you those numbers exact, but I think the chairman is 12 to 14,000, somewhere in that range. So, I mean, I certainly don't desire to see a change in the salary. I believe that it's my civic responsibility, and I've been doing it since 1995, to perform a function to the community at small pittance to cover my expenses. Anybody else wish to speak, Mr.?
Arnie, when was the last time we had an increase for the board members?
Probably 2013.
All right.
I'm gonna guess that's what it
It
is.
would be this, I think it probably was 12. When we went on this standard schedule, it had been in 2012.
Yeah, to get everybody on the same
Well,
pay
it was
schedule.
approved in 2012, and
Took
it
place.
started in 2014, actually,
To get us all on the same.
to get us all on the same, yes.
The concern that I have is that the longer you leave these things go, the further you're out in disparity in compensation. And you reach a point where you're not gonna get good people that wanna serve on the board. I think it's important that we periodically, and at least once every 2 years, look at slight adjustments rather than getting to the point where we're so low that we have to make a big increase all at once, so. I propose that we look at some increase in board compensation. Do you want a motion for an amount?
This is open conversation yet, but,
Could you explain what the per diems are, how are those?
yeah, that would be for a meeting, for example, this meeting this evening. The chairman will receive $60 to be here. The rest of the supervisors are 55, excuse me. And plus the monthly salary is just the monthly stipend. And $300, that's roughly $10 a day. I'm down here, 3 to 4 hours every day, so it's not that I do it for the money. Tell you that flat out. Mr. Ed?
Am I understanding correctly that you guys, you might hold meetings back to back and only charge for one, is that?
We try to do that on occasion. Dan and myself were able to do that, and Patty and Bill did 1 or 2 last year that were together. Did you have something, Bill?
Yes, if somebody made a motion tonight, nobody would get an increase until the next term of office. You know?
That's what I figured.
So usually the best time to do that is at budget time, when it's figured in, and then before the next election. Before somebody takes out nomination papers, they should know what the job pays. But you then have, after nomination papers are turned in, you still have one more chance to raise that, or lower it. I've been where they've lowered it.
Anybody else wish to speak? If there's any motion to come forward, it'd be accepted at this time. If there's no motion, it'll remain on, and then it would be also asked as Bill indicated, at the budget meeting.
I'm gonna make the motion that we adjust board per diems by $5 a meeting. So not only the chairman, but the board members would increase by $5. Try to do this more often than let us get way too out of sync with what other municipalities are paying.
Okay, is there a second to the motion for a $5 increase in 2018?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Per diem is for being
Per
in
meeting.
meetings,
Mhm.
period, or is it for other, if you have to go to meetings?
Or a
elsewhere
training
or
meeting
something?
also would be included in it, right?
Okay.
It's basically when you're performing a function for the township, whether it's a meeting that's held here, or a meeting like this, or, for example, an airport commission meeting.
And some could be several hours, and then
Some could be 15 minutes.
1 hour, yeah.
And they do range all over the board.
Right.
So, excuse me, did we get a,
Not
no,
certain.
okay, go ahead, Mr. Head.
I'm not, is it $5 per diem and also for the salary too? Is that the motion?
$5 per diem.
Just on the per diem?
Well, I don't know.
That was the motion?
We can amend it if somebody
No,
wants to.
I mean, is that the motion?
That's
Not
Yep.
the motion. No, okay.
Is there a second then?
I'll second it for voters'
Okay.
sake.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded that the per diems for supervisor and chairman increased by $5, starting in 2018. Is there any other discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Do we have some idea of what that cost is on a yearly basis?
Patty ran a number here, and Patty, you want to explain your number there?
Right, currently the per diems, it costs the residents, $280 per meeting. That, at the current per diems. With the proposed motion, it would increase to $305 per meeting
For board meeting?
for meetings that are held, and, which is a 1.09% increase.
And what's the gross amount per year?
The gross amount, we don't have that figure about the meetings that were held as far as the meetings that were held, but generally, well, let me see, in the report, we had, how many meetings in the recycle bill?
6.
6.
I think it'd be pretty hard
I
to
think
do.
on average,
You know.
it varies, on average, maybe 4 to 5 meetings a month would be the norm of
Yeah.
supervisors. So you would be looking at $20 to $25 a month for each supervisor.
Right.
125.
So 240.
Less than $1,500 a year increase is what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none. If you wish to support the motion to increase the per diems by $5 each, I think we probably should have roll call vote, huh? Roll call vote by raising your hand. Hold them up till she counts.
That's for yeses, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Any opposed? Those yes?
I will abstain.
Just one opposed?
Okay. All right, motion carried. The salary change will be $5 starting in 2018. All right, the next item on the agenda is to transact any business authorized under statute 60.10 Wisconsin Stats. Basically, that's for you to tell us if there's anything specifically you want this board to be looking at. However, you cannot tie the board down to any funding mechanisms. In other words, you can't change the budget or anything like this, but if there's something you wish the board to specifically look at, you can put a motion forward, discuss it, and the board would take that as a recommendation to review. Anything out there?
I got something, but I'm trying to find it in my notes here. Bear with me. Call out somebody else for me.
What, do you have a recess for coffee or what?
You gonna go home and get it?
I
or-
got it.
I guess I'd like to pose some, I'd like to see, since we were talking about the recycling and all that, I'd like to, look in, I don't know, how, grants or whatever for recycling bins or containers. I think the town needs to get with the program, instead of putting stuff into plastic. I mean, I walk around the neighborhood on our Friday pickup, and I really empathize with the, folks that do this job. Because I couldn't imagine doing it when you can't see what's in those bags. You can't even semi-clear plastic. I mean, you gotta go boom, 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 boom. And what do? Pick up the bag and look at it? I mean, seriously, folks, I mean, do you really think that these people should have to do that? I mean, you folks up there, I think either go through, try to get I don't know how the grants are anymore since the state has tightened things up. But, I mean, or come up with the recycling committee, come up with a plan. Or, either people have to, they all, I noticed, one person in our neighborhood, they have a regular, it's the same size as their garbage can, is blue, and it has the recycling, emblem on it. And, I think we're defeating the purpose here by putting recyclables into plastic. That is our goal,
I can tell you, I don't, mine is in an
I
open.
don't either.
Mine's in an
Mine
open
either.
container,
But
anybody can look
Mine is
at
in
it.
the thing, and,
I think we did have that discussion, Shirley, and I think it was even in one of the contract proposals for advance, but there was a cost to it that was a little more prohibitive, was that correct, Bill?
Yeah, and if I may, just, surely I'm gonna disagree on that, so stand back here. One of the things is if we have, that is what the advanced disposal wants to do, and there are many of them, is drive up and pick up your containers and dump them. And that's what we objected to, because they don't know what's in either one of those. They don't know what's in the green top one in Stevens Point, what's in that for recycling, and they don't know what's in the garbage one. They really, and there could be TV, electronics, DDT, oil, all kinds of things in that. And I think then you don't know what it is. I think is what Shirley is proposing is an open container that you could see. But the minute you propose that to these contractors, they wanna go where they only have to operate, drive up to something and dump it. And remember, that's what advanced disposal was upset about, us going to a 3-year contract. If we'd have went to a 7-year contract, they'd have figured it in to pay for, in 7 years, to pay for those 96 or 85 gallon or whatever gallon containers there are. But they wanted to buy a new truck at the same time.
well, I'm not proposing these big things, that's not what I want. See, I want something very simple for the people. I mean, why can't, I mean, the city at one time, they had just these little things that were easy to pick up, you can see them.
Yeah, they're going away from those because they're not efficient. It appears that they're gonna go to the 85 and larger size containers.
I know, but we don't have to do that.
Right.
I mean, why don't we take baby steps? I
Well-
mean, you know, that's my thing, why aren't we taking baby steps? I mean, I think if people had the regular, some type of, recycling bin, that they would be, you know, more likely to use it.
Okay,
And you wouldn't have to put the
Something we can look
plastic.
we'll, we'll take that as a referral.
Well, I noticed the trucks now, the new one has hydraulics to pick up those standardized bins now, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Hatton, do you find your notes?
Yeah, I got 2 items. Is that
Two,
okay?
all right.
Okay, first one is, RCCA is here tonight, why?
Because they committed to doing the annual meeting.
Wonderful, wonderful, I'm glad to see you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yes,
Nice
thank you,
job.
Jesse.
Take a bow, Jess.
Have they committed to doing our budget meeting?
They did.
Oh, wonderful, thank you,
I think so.
okay.
That's two.
So.
Now, that's your true question.
So, and forgive me if I'm repetitious here for you guys here, but maybe the folks on TV haven't heard this, but.
I'm sure they have.
But my message here again is the town of Grand Rapids is a pretty cheap place to live. And I've got my tax statement here. And there's a line on there for garbage collection. It's $131 a year. If I divide that by 12 months, that's $11 a month I pay for. Anybody that has garbage collection pays $11 a month for garbage collection. I don't know how I get rid of it for that somehow, you know, even driving someplace to dump it off, you know.
Drive far.
And,
I know, it's only a cup of coffee, a quick trip.
and my tax statement, as well as, I'm guessing everybody else's, has a line on for state of Wisconsin tax. It's got a line on there for Wood County tax. It's got a line on there for school district tax, and it's got a line on there for MSTC tax, mid-state. It's also got a line for local tax, which is the town of Grand Rapids. Your taxes on a $100,000 assessment in the town of Grand Rapids is $289 a year. That's 24 bucks a month. In my particular case, my family's particular case, our assessment is about $140,000. That works out to 33 bucks a month for taxes, plus the $11 a month for garbage. That's $44 a month to live in the town of Grand Rapids. My wife's cell phone bill is $65 a month.
That's all?
That's on a 3-way plan. Our charter, TV, internet, what am I missing? Telephone is about $240 a month. I challenge you to find something that's cheaper in your budget than $44 a month. Grand
Thank you.
Rapids is a pretty cheap place to live.
We know that, we're saying.
Reasonable.
And safe.
Inexpensive.
And safe.
Okay.
I gotta get my plug in.
Yeah, okay.
And as you remember, we were recently named the 7th safest community in the state of Wisconsin again, right, Mel?
Yes, sir.
And it's
7?
7th,
Okay.
yeah.
Six.
We were 6th last year,
Oh.
we slipped a spot. All right, anything else, Mr.
One more thing, Arnie, to add to
Layton.
what Shirley was saying here. I agree with Bill too, these bins, while they might be handy for the people that are picking them up, they're an eyesore to sit out in front of people's houses, they take up a ton of space. Take 2 of those bins and take about as much room as that blue tabletop over there. Where do you put them? I think Shirley's idea of going back to some of these smaller bins, if the township could get some of them made up and sell them to the residents who don't have them. They're sturdy, they're heavy duty. I've got some that are left over from, I think, Valley Sanitation. They work nice, I use them for the recyclables. That's all you need. for the average family. You don't need these great big huge bins.
Go ahead.
I heard a report not long ago that cities were letting people commingle their garbage, and that the companies who do the recycling and try to sort that out said it was costing too much, so they were putting it in the landfill when it's commingled.
Yeah, I believe there's been that report around for a while, and it is tough, especially if the garbage gets on anything else. It's a cleaning issue and everything else, but, all right, we've had a good meeting this evening. Unless there's anything else, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Shirley, second by
Jill?
Jill. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Have an aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. We'll see you again.